You know how these things go. Whenever like a mainstream person or like event features fighting games, people take the worst possible takes away from it for no reason. You saw the streamers, all the big streamers were playing an at&t Cup. There was a Street Fighter event that they did as part of it. There was a player, I don't know what he does. His name is Noko. He had like a rant where he was upset because he lost. And like a lot of people were like, see, I knew it. It's funny because if I died in Valorant and was like, this is why shooting games are bad. I have to pixel perfect aim and hit this guy's head and he's on a head glitch and I can't see him. You got to be the greatest shooting game player of all time to hit a little pixel. Nobody would be like, you're right, shooting games are flawed. But for some reason, fighting game fans are like, he's spitting. I don't know why. So here's the clip. This is Apex Pro.
Does Apex Legends do that? When you play and you go to a bronze lobby, it doesn't place you against... Sometimes it does. But like the thing about it is like that's a 1 in 60 chance. Like you're telling me there's that many players on Street Fighter? There's that many players on Street Fighter? At least you can point, click, shoot. It's fucking easy. Point, click, shoot. Mad easy. Mad fucking easy. You can watch literally a 10-minute tutorial how to do it, but not have to be frame fucking perfect. You literally have to like actually like, why can't I button smash? Can we just go back to fucking 1999 where I can literally just doom and do crazy fucking combos with my forehead? Because
I'd be very impressed if you were gaming out there with your forehead. Anyway, like, yeah, you watch this and like my assumption is like, okay, he must have lost the game before this. I understand. It's no problem. It's weird that some people use this as an example, like in actuality. No, like I'm a fighting game player. I played for a long time. When I play Apex Legends, I'll tell you what, I drop into lobbies, another team drops on top of me, you know what they do? Doon, with their foreheads with a fucking Eva, and then they kill me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I just got smoked by an Eva. And then everybody's like, oh yeah, that gun's trash. And I'm like, oh, but he just like clicked me and I died. And they're like, oh yeah, well, that gun's trash. Nobody uses it anymore. You gotta use the master for the PK. And maybe if your movement was better and you just did this, you fly off the wall and do this, you would have got out of it. You know what I mean? Like, my point here obviously being that when there is like a genre or like a game that you don't know or whatever and you're trying to get into, this feeling is incredibly common. You know, you don't take it serious, right? You understand that this is just a feeling that we all have when we start out with these games. I'm not going to take his opinion on it as gospel. I don't think you should either, because this other clip,
1000%, if you're a professional fighter, like Street Fighter player or whatever the fuck you want to call it, you're the greatest gamer in existence ever.
Round one.
If you play any fighting game, you're the most superior gamer ever. And
look, all right, I take it back. He was right in the other clip. If you're a fighting game player, you have superior gamer genetics and you're just assembled uniquely. No, I mean, yeah, like when you watch someone who has a skill set that you don't possess and you're not there and you're so far from there and you're just very impressed, you just don't know how to play the genre and I don't know how to play your genre, and that's totally cool. You know, it's perfectly fine. Now let's move past. I didn't know that this was even on a thing, by the way. My takeaway before I opened up Twitter was, wow, I was very impressed with the people who played in the tournament and I thought they did a great job. Him included. I thought they did an awesome job learning the genre for being brand new. You can see the gears clicking and you can see them like figuring stuff out. And to watch a new player, you know, there's like the surface level and then they see the matrix, right? They can start to see the green lines on the screen. That is awesome. I cannot think of a better point I've seen maybe in my life to emphasize what it's like than this one right here. I am an Emiru fan for life now. She's the greatest gamer of all time. Remember in that last clip where that FPS dude was like, if you're a pro Street Fighter player, you're the greatest gamer to ever do it? This is who he's talking about.
I'm sorry.
She's apologizing. About to get the dizzy. You love to see it. I'm overheated. That is beast. The greatest gamer to ever do it right here. This is exactly what you're supposed to do in fighting games. No, you're supposed to find a thing that's strong and fun to do, and you're supposed to do it until the other person dies. This is somebody who figured something out and was like, looks good, I'm gonna keep doing that. I love it. What she is doing here and the feeling she has here, I had 2 weeks ago doing the big wheel in DNF. Do you remember when I was mashing one button and doing the big wheel in DNF and the other person was like, I'm overheated and I'm just mashing the big wheel? And I laughed just as maniacally. No, not with less apologizing. I apologized many times about the wheel. Did I see her get salty when she faced double lift? Yes, and if I played someone in DNF Duel who beat me, I would have probably said the same thing. She doesn't know how to play Street Fighter, right? Like most of the people in this tournament. So she just found the fastest, easiest thing to do that would get her as far as she could. That is, first of all, tournament winning mindset. Second of all, It's the best strategy you can come up with if you don't know the game. I'm sure many of the other people who are trying to play in this were trying to learn the game. And the problem is like when you're first learning a game, right? When you're just mashing and doing random stuff, your power level is actually much higher than when somebody is like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to play Street Fighter the right way. Let me walk over here and set up my spacing and do all that. Guy's gonna get fucked up. They're gonna have no chance and she's gonna kill him. That's just how it goes. It's impossible. You're not going to beat someone who's doing this if you've played for the same amount of time and you're trying to learn how to play. To beat a strategy that's a little bit more degenerate and also effective takes a long time. Like, you don't just learn how to do that right away, right? It takes time. There are some people who actually learn how to play the game. Like, Lyric's been streaming Street Fighter. He's been playing more and more. And when I tuned on his stream, was trying Oro, and he was like trying to do charge moves and figure that out and like trying to shoot fireballs, and he kept like getting the wrong button and like not getting the motion and stuff. This is him playing the next day, right? Just a random clip. This is Lyric. He got second in the tournament. Does he not know how to play Street Fighter? Like, he's trying to do fireballs, and then when he jumps, he wants to anti-air. And then when someone, you're like, all right, you're not gonna jump? Fine, I'll throw a fireball. And then he jumps over your fireball.
Jump after 3 million of these, man. My fucking hands are on fire, asshole.
And he's mad that the guy didn't jump earlier.
Fucking oven mitts.
He's like so mad. He's like, why didn't you jump the one time I was ready? We've all been here. Pretty impressive that the basic game plan of like do the fireball and do the uppercut and also like, you know, using your normals and other stuff is executed pretty well, right? He got second in the tournament. Jagenbake, who by the way was in the MK tournament for the last at&t event and won because he got coached by Perfect Legend. He learned how to play Luke and he actually did very well. He had to play Double Lift a little earlier than Lyric did. Double Lift won the tournament and he also was great. I was really impressed. I mean, Double Lift was going to win the tournament. I think most people knew that. He played a lot of Street Fighter 4. He had the most experience and it showed, right? But the other players that were a little bit newer, they kind of were catching up quick. They were doing a great job. I watched it and I had such a positive experience. You know, I was like, damn, everybody looks so good. I go to Twitter afterwards and everybody's like, fighting games are too hard. You see this one dude who's like mega pissed. And I couldn't believe it. I was shocked at how grumpy everybody was on Twitter. I was like, what are you guys? Did you guys not watch the same thing that I did? If I played a tactical shooter and I was like, this game sucks. You got to sit and hide in the corner and you can't move. And you got to just shoot a pixel and point and click. You got to be precise with your pixel shooting and all this kind of, this game is trap, blah, blah. And I yell all this stuff. Like, no shooting players would be like, see, we got to change shooting games. They would just be like, this guy sucks. Why is he yelling so much? And I'd be like, you're right, my bad. I just died. My teammate, he baited me, and my bad. And then that would be the end, right? We'd be like, ah, fair enough. But fighting game players are so weird about outside perspective. Don't be influenced so easily. They were looking for an excuse to justify why fighting games aren't this or that or whatever. Like, right? They wanted a reason to feel that way. On the other hand, I think it's a great event to show the exact opposite of what their point was. And I think that dude did a good job too, watching him play. It's clear that he was trying to learn and like, you know, they're kind of pressed for time. They've got to learn like 8 games for this tournament and stuff. And Street Fighter is like an oddball. It's like a weird genre. It's not a shooting game. There's a bunch of shooting games on there. So like, you know, I get it. It is funny. One thing I did like about this tournament is how everybody played Luke, because they're like, okay, Luke is the best character, but he's not the easiest character to play if you're brand new to the game. Imagine if, I don't know, you wanted to play like League of Legends or something, right? And like, let's say Aphelios is like the strongest champ and everybody's like, oh, you want to play AD carry? Just pick Aphelios. He's broken. A new player picks Aphelios and is like, I got 9 guns. Like, I'm John Wick. What the fuck is happening here? Meanwhile, the other person against them picks like the easiest shit in the planet and they just auto attack them to death and it's over. When you're brand new, it doesn't really matter the strength of a character. I'm sure we've all told you this many times, right? It doesn't really matter that much what character you pick when you're learning or whatever. Pick the character you think is cool. Like, those differences in power, you will not feel them for a long time. And, you know, eventually they don't matter as much. Just pick the character you think is cool. This tournament is a great example. I thought everybody did awesome. I was very impressed with everybody I watched play. It's easy to either try to agree with that guy or to be upset with him and just be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But like, yeah, no shit. I don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about games that I'm new to, right? So like, I don't fault him. Everybody's been mad before in their lives. You ever watch a shooter player stream that's not like 5 people? Everybody's yelling all the time. Finding someone who's not gonna blow out my ears at like fucking midnight when I'm trying to watch a stream. Impossible. Somebody should have sent my 2-minute guide to Lyric. I don't know if they did. My 2 minutes to God guide, that'll get him all the way up to minimum diamond. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I did see the clip of Lyric saying, I'm maybe new in town, but I'm pretty sure all Ken players are bitches. That was his clip that I saw him say, which, you know, might as well be a Street Fighter OG. He's figuring it out pretty fast. Listen. Street Fighter 5 does not have a lot of frame perfect stuff. It's actually very lenient in terms of what you can do. And there's a buffer to make it easier. Let's go back to 3S and see if these players can do any X move. Let's go back to 3S and see if I can do any X move, bro. How many times you try to do a fucking EX Fireball in that game or something and you just don't get it? I'm trying to throw EX Fireball with Ken and this motherfucker's throwing a regular Fireball. I'm like, dude, try to do crouching medium kick DP super with Ken. That shit's hard. Not that it's hard to do, but it's easy to miss. You're not gonna hit. I'm not gonna hit it every time.